In this week's GTA 5 o'clock, online heists, we blow open the vault inside the Pacific Standard Bank. Hints and tips for levelling up and making cash in GTA Online. Plus, we look back at the official screenshots and compare them to their in-game counterparts. All this and more in this week's essential GTA 5 o'clock. Hello and welcome to this week's GTA 5 o'clock. The more astute among you will realise that this isn't the voice of Tim Weaver. This is the voice of James Jarvis, Tim Weaver's replacement, and I am joined by Dan Dawkins. Hello, Dan.
Hello, James.
How would you feel about the replacement before we get kicking off?
I feel great. I feel like this is a positive new era. I was sad about Tim, but I've instantly moved on and cut him off.
Excellent. Good. That's what we want to hear. So, Dan, what have we got coming up on today's show?
Well, we've got a lot of things that you're asking for, chiefly of which is how to make money and rank up faster in GTA Online. We'll be running through a quick guide and linking out to some other videos we've made on the channel. We're also going to be, hopefully, unveiling one of the first GTA Online heist locations through a convenient glitch in the scenery, which you'll see in just a moment. And then we're also going to be looking at a case of like then and now. We're going to look back at the first trailer for GTA 5, which came out in November 2011, seeing how it compares to the game itself 2 years on.
Excellent. So, shall we get straight into the meaty stuff then, Dan, and kick off with this heist location that we think we've discovered or been pointed towards and then subsequently gone and found?
Yeah, well, let's like run the VT and we'll talk you through like quite how you get there. This seems to have just like been like a breaking thing as we speak, but you can see here Trevor bearded and ready to head in online. This is the location up in the north of, it's north Los Santos, kind of around Vinewood, isn't it? Downtown
Vinewood, I think. And this is the frontage of the bank that we've seen in the GTA Online trailer of one. When they go inside, we can see the three people walking up towards this door, just like Trevor's doing now.
So they go Pacific Standard Bank. You head in, as James says, this is the one we glimpsed in the trailer where they're all wearing masks.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are asking when are heists going to be part of GTA Online. Truth is, we haven't been told by Rockstar yet. All we know is that essentially all the plans they had, including things like the Beach Bum Pack DLC, lots of different stuff like that, it's all been put back because the pressing concern was basically making GTA Online work.
Yeah.
Sorry, back to more pressing affairs. You can see here when you enter the bank, you can walk along. Your path gets blocked by this door, but there is a way around to get to the where you need to be.
Yeah, and as we can see, this is exactly the same floor layout as the trailer. I think this is the one we can see them running in and shooting all the guards. It makes sense that this is going to be one of the first main heists because it's quite a big bank. I think you'd get quite a big score out of this.
Yeah, I mean, we are definitely speculating in terms of whether this will be a heist location, but given that, you know, it does appear when they say talk about heists, it just seems a bit of a shoo-in. So the exact mechanics of the heist we don't know. This isn't an active heist. This is just the location that the heist will be held at. So we can see Trevor makes his way in. He's heading across. Lovely marble floors, I will add.
Yeah, I'd say that as all this has been mapped quite extensively, all this interior, you could imagine yourself as your crew going into the bank, fighting your way up these stairs against all the security guards, or, as we've seen in single player, possibly going in a bit stealthily and doing it slightly different.
Yeah, again, they've not really talked about that, but it'd be really cool if you could like choose to go in outfits or to try to perform some kind of stealth activity. I'm not quite sure if the mechanics will extend to that given how unpredictable online can be, but it's a nice idea, and I would genuinely love the idea of coordinating a bit like a sort of Ocean's 11 with one of you being the front man and other guys, almost like, you know, say you could send one guy in as your front man wearing you know, his briefcase and outfit, two guys blend in as innocent civilians in the queue waiting for money, and, you know, if and when it all goes wrong you can whip the weapons out. But again, you know, that's just speculation. I'm not sure. Again,
that would be very cool though. Have your getaway driver outside ready to go as you run out of the bank, all carrying wads of cash.
Okay, so this door looks locked, but it is locked only in single player that we've been showing you with Trevor. If we switch to our online avatar, which is the avatar of Mr. Trophy, Ian Wilson, we can see that in fact the door pushes through now and you can enter a new area down the steps, and you can see this is the entrance to the vault, which is also locked with a keypad. Now you could spend all sorts of time trying to open that to much futility, but there is in fact another way to enter the actual vault itself and slam down the doors to the good times.
Yeah, interesting that it's got a keypad on it. In other online missions there are gates and things with keypads on that you actually have to go and physically hack by putting in number combinations and hacking it with apps that you've got on your phone. So whether that's going to be a thing that you can do on the vault as a different tactic, instead of just blowing it up, you can go and hack the door. That would be a neat little touch.
Yeah, I've been on like missions myself in GTA Online with people sort of somewhat clownishly trying to work the keypad and giving up and swearing. So I think that, you know, that's quite a nice thing. You can see here, this is where you need to go down, like this grill venting. Now the way to actually get through there is with a glitch. So this is quite weird. You sort of stand in this location facing the grill bars, then you enter the pause menu and head to the PlayStation Store. And then when you spawn out and spawn back in, amazingly you reappear the other side of the grill. Again, you know, who would think to do that, but it has been found. So then you find yourself then down the other side, you can head down the steps. But yeah, here we go, and you can see the main vault. In fact, that looks like Michael. Surely it's not.
As a bust.
Yeah,
Michael
as a bust. I think that's slightly weird. So yeah, another keypad, and then you see the big vault doors themselves. Now you can't just like walk up and open them in the easy way, but there are tricks you can use to get them open. One is to use your pistol or a weapon, and you can sort of like boomerang or bounce the door open by shooting it and hoping the ricochet opens it.
Yeah, now obviously in online this isn't going to be the way to open the door because that's quite a flimsy safe really, but it's just because we're obviously glitched in here and you're not meant to be able to be doing this stuff. It's just a way to get the door open. We have a little bit of trouble with our gun, so we resort to more explosive methods, Dan.
Yeah, well exactly, like if in doubt whip out the sticky bomb. So this is what we do. We get the sticky bomb out, slip it on the door. You can see here, quick pop of the sticky bomb. The very thick door is wide open, and then we can see the contents of the vault. Prepare for a massive well, yeah, okay, it's just more. It's another sort of
more emptiness.
Door. But yeah, you can see here the sort of you know, the sort of bearing bonds, banknote style containers that we've seen in previous missions where, you know, they're absolutely ripe, full of cash.
Yeah.
So you can imagine being in here with your online teammates and absolutely cleaning up. Now, unfortunately, there isn't really much more to see because, as we say, this is essentially a glitch to get you into what we think will be a key GTA Online host location. You know, we'll see, but yeah, this is your first glimpse of it.
Moving on then, we've got some tips and tricks for GTA Online of how to make money and rank up quickly.
Yeah, we're going to run through some really, like, I suppose some basic stuff that some people might be like, oh, this is a bit easy, you know, but for some people that's still useful. And also like some more, not completely glitchy, but, you know, more the missions to focus on, the things to look at. So there's some like obvious stuff when it comes to making money, and certainly with building reputation. One thing that's not directly money linked but is handy is like join a crew. Now I know that can be rich because a lot of people are saying, well, we're trying to join your crew but you won't let us in, but you know, we have got the GTA 5 o'clock Gravels crew, which hopefully it isn't full already. You could join up. One of the key advantages of joining a crew is that when you perform missions online, you're more likely to be surrounded by friends and not enemies.
Yeah.
So it makes doing things a hell of a lot easier when not everybody is a potential snake in the grass. Now, the key benefit is that you get a greater percentage of reputation points for every mission you perform whilst you're active in a crew. Do you know what sort of percentage it is improved?
I think it's half. I think it's
really?
50%, yeah. I think it's 50% for joining a crew and 10% for doing it with friends. So if you're friends on the Rockstar Social Club with people, you get 10% more. But if you're doing it as a crew, I think you get 50%.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that.
Well, it's quite a hike. But so that's like one key thing to do right at the start. The second, again, which is you're literally told, you can occasionally perform hold-ups for quick cash. Now, they only give you between, say, $1,000 and about $1,650, but you only get a 2-star wanted level. It's pretty easy to evade. You've only got to go in a fast car to a reasonably safe distance, hide under a bridge in the shadows, something like that. It's, you know, it's low-hanging fruit, but it's always an option. And after you've robbed a store, it will stay closed for like a day to restock or something, but it's always an option.
I don't know if I'm sorry, Dan. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun a bit here because I haven't seen your list of things. But also talking about robbing things, you can rob security vans in GTA Online as well.
Now tell us about that.
I think you have to be around about level 19, so you're going to have to do quite a bit of work before you get there. But once you get there, you get a call from Lester, who will say, hey, there's some security vans going around the city. If you blow them up, they're always going to have a big wad of cash in. And robbing them of all of their cash will get you probably about 10 grand a time. They're dotted around the map. They're not marked, I don't think, so you have to go out and actually find them. But they are there, and it's a good way of getting a good 10 grand.
Yeah, and as you can see probably from the link on screen, Tim and I tried to rob a Group Sex van, and it's not always as easy as it first appears. Now, other ways to make money include, and this is quite a simple way, stealing cars. Now, you know, again, there's a link on the screen to a video I produced with Mr. Trophy Ian Wilson, who's got the top 10 most valuable cars in GTA Online and what they're worth, with cars like the sort of Lampadati Felon worth about $9,500.
Yeah.
You can only sell one car every 24 virtual hours, which is every 48 real-time minutes. But Ian pointed out something quite cute in the video link there, is that if you like see a load of cars you want, you can stack them up in a garage, almost like you're sort of storing things for the lean times, like the autumn harvest.
Preparing for the end of the world.
Exactly, and then you just head down to the garage when it opens up again and sell another car. So that's quite a good way to stack up.
Yeah, now obviously you're going to have a big enough garage to store those cars in, so you'll need to buy an apartment. But given that Rockstar are going to give everyone £250,000, hopefully by the end of this week, I think is what they've been saying, you should have enough money to buy yourself a decent apartment and get a big garage to stock up all your cars in there.
And that's also worth pointing out, is that maybe, you know, you don't want to go busting your ass trying to earn 250k, because you are literally going to get that for free quite soon. But having said that, you know, 250k, whilst it's a great amount of money, it's only going to buy you really like most of a quite cool apartment. And certainly if you want to buy the really cool sports cars, like what, the Addo, is it?
Yeah, things they're like $1 million, aren't they?
They're like $1 million, so like you're going to need some pretty big wedge. So 250 is only like it's a deposit.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get higher purchase in GTA Online, so maybe they should do that. They should give you extortionate loan rates.
Wow, that'd be... Oh, I'd waste quite a lot of money on that, I think.
I think it'd be good if you could then perform a hit job on the lendee.
Yeah, and trade in their stock.
So that'd be awesome. Time. So yeah, if they were like really... It's a little idea for you, Rockstar. If it was like... I suppose in Britain you have like the awful payday loan companies who charge like 7,000% interest. You know, you could experience that in GTA Online, but then the alternative is to break into their heavily armed HQ and bust out your money, or you know, eliminate your debt. Okay, now other more sensible ways to earn money might include now sort of not necessarily farming certain missions, but there are things that open up that definitely make life easier. There's some stuff that happens very early on in the game, like Gerald will give you missions on the smartphone.
Yeah.
Now, one of those early missions unlocks at level 7 is Methed Up, which gives you 5k. Now, if you hit level 10, there's a couple of other quite good missions, including Violent Duct and No Hey Bronca, which give you about 9k a mission.
That's not bad.
Which is not bad, you know, that's not a decent use of your time. But in fact, there are missions that really pay the wedge. In fact, there's one that gives you, well, we're trying to work it out. We thought it was about $3,000 a minute. Surely not.
Well, I think it's one of the races, right?
Yeah, we reckon 15,015 minutes was achievable.
Yeah, races in the new patch seem to be the way that everyone who's there for grinding or replaying their favourite mission, I guess as they would call it, is the way to get yourself a lot of cash and a lot of RP quite quickly. Because races you can set to one lap, they're normally just a loop if you can find one of the short ones, and they're over pretty quickly. Yeah, and this one, Criminal Records, is one of the ones that is just like that. You can go in, you can get £3,000, you can just hit replay and keep getting the £3,000 every time, as long as you win.
Dollars, James.
Dollars, sorry.
There's no conversion rate in
3,000 GTA money.
Yeah, GTA money. So, and also, like another good way to make money is, I say good way, it's a bit more time consuming, but it does pay up, is if you take part in this sort of survival wave missions. You might have seen us do this in a previous live stream. The only thing with it is it's quite time consuming and quite hard.
Yeah.
So the chances of dying are quite high. But again, you can rake in like circa $10,000. Really nice wedge of RP points. It's just quite difficult. Again, probably best tackled in with a smart crew who are going to coordinate properly.
Yeah, if you're doing it with friends, it's also rather than just grinding races, it's a lot of fun to do some of the survival stuff. If you got 4 of you together, 20 minutes, you're getting 20 grand if you finish up to wave 10. So 20 minutes, that's a grand a minute. Not bad.
Again, that's pretty competitive rates. Now, it's also worth pointing out that when you've made your money using some of these different means, you are a prime target for one of the many douchebags in GTA Online. So, you need to bank your cash. Now, I mean, Rockstar talked about doing that at an ATM, but in truth, it's dangerous and fiddly.
Yeah.
And they're not, as far as I'm aware, they're not clearly marked on the map either.
You can hold select or back on the 360, which will get you to the interaction menu, and you can quick mark it on your GPS.
Right.
But again, it's much easier to do it on your phone.
Yeah, you can get your phone out, you head to the banking and finance section, and you can go to your bank, I think Maze Bank or whatever it is online. It will automatically pretend to log you in, and you can just manually deposit your money. It's an awful lot easier.
Yeah.
In truth, day to day, every 48 minutes, you don't need that much cash in hand. Enough for a few transactions. The only time you spend big money is things that tend to be through websites anyway, where it's all electronically handled. So there's apart from being some sort of maniac, self-defeating high roller, there's no reason to carry around like $50,000.
No.
I guess, for hilarious reasons of enticing people in, like a honey trap. But
yeah, I guess you could. And you do get given wads of cash when you do some of the bounty missions. If anyone's got a bounty on their head and you get $9,000 for killing the guy, you're instantly carrying $9,000. So it's best to get rid of that pretty quick.
But like we just said, I mean, earning money is one aspect. Perhaps the trickier aspect is earning reputation points and leveling up, because really, that's how you unlock the better missions that earn you more cash and get hold of the really good sort of weapons, apartments and unlocks and all those various different things you want.
Yeah,
and apartments are open, aren't they, from the start? But
apartments are open, but you don't have any money. But you'd think, especially given when the DLC does come, that heists are going to be level locked to certain levels.
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine they'd be open from the very beginning. So it's good to... Yeah, tips for ranking up then. We've got a few, I think, Dan.
Yeah, there's a couple. A lot of them is focus on the competitive multiplayer modes. Now, this is slightly obvious. There's no sort of substitute for actually being good at GTA Online. There's things you can do that even if you're rubbish, you can take part in the longer survival modes and you will still earn RP. You can tag on sort of team-based things on the back of friends who are good at the game and sort of ride their coattails. It's also worth noting that you can bet on anyone to win a death match. So if there's a guy in your lobby who's level 30, 40 and everyone else is on 10, 15 or something, maybe that guy's really good at shooting and has got better weapons. So you've got to, it might be worth a cheeky bit of your money in a sort of, either which way I win type bet. So that's always quite useful. Another quick way to earn reputation points is by evading the cops.
Yeah, so which you can get by robbing stores.
Yeah, which again we recommended. That's a good way to do it. A very drip way to earn reputation points is to not be a complete bum wipe, because bad sports go to hell and only play with each other, and that is an issue in itself, where some people feel they've been unfairly targeted as bad sports. Others perhaps are in delusional states about what a bad sport constitutes. I mean, I personally find it exceedingly annoying when someone for no reason will ram me, kill me, just for pennies and just to cheese me off. That it just drives me mad. So go and live in your bad sport hell.
They get a little dunce's hat as well if they're a bad sport, which is quite funny.
Good, go to your dunce hat hell. But yeah, again, being a good sport will sporadically yield rewards, but that's not a guaranteed way to rank up. It really is essentially being good at the game, focusing on the competitive and team play. Anything else you can think of, James?
There is one other little thing which again doesn't get you that many points, but I think it's called cruising with your homies or something. If you get together as a crew or friends and you all get in a car together and just drive around, just by driving around the streets you get a bit of RP just for hanging out together and chilling and doing whatever. So that's good. And singing in the shower.
Really?
If you go in your apartment and you've got a headset, you can stand in the shower and you can stand there singing or murmuring along to whatever you like, and you'll get a few points while you're getting clean. Oh, that's
nice. It did seem like why we even have a shower otherwise. That's quite a nice little Easter egg.
To wash all the blood off and to get a few points.
That's much like life in some ways. What was I going to say? There's also some benefits to being in teams, is that if one of your friends, or even not your part-time lobby friends, has got an incredibly high level, they're your gateway to play missions you couldn't access otherwise. Yeah. So in fact you'll probably see that in our live stream we did yesterday, where Mr. Trophy, who's on about level 45 or 40, is able to unlock some really seriously high cashed missions, and a lot of the really fun stuff like the fighter jets versus ground vehicles things and all the really cool missions. So yeah, I'd cadge off those guys to get yourself up to speed quickly.
Alright, so that's our hints and tips for ranking up and gaining cash in GTA Online. Finally, Dan, I thought we'd go through, like you said earlier, some of the original screenshots, or some of the screenshots that came out in the lead up to the game's release of GTA 5, and then compare them to the in-game equivalent. A lot of this work, nearly all of this work, has been carried out by the people on GTA forums, so thanks guys
well done,
for
everyone. Yeah,
it's a really good, interesting thread there. There's a link in the description if you want to go and check it out. They've got loads more than we're going to go through here, but I thought it'd be nice just to have a look at a few. And surprisingly, well, I'll let you see them, Dan, because I don't think you've seen them yet.
Yeah, so, no, I haven't seen them all, so James is going to take us through them. Just some background is that, yeah, it's been almost exactly 2 years since the first GTA trailer. It came out on November the 2nd, 2011. It was, soundtracked with Ogden's Nut Gone Flake by the Small Faces, which has now become iconic and in fact part of the GTA 5 o'clock theme tune.
That's right.
Now, it's worth noting as well, and I can't really say how I know this, but I've heard on the grapevine, and this may or may not be true, that the very first trailer was sort of made when the game wasn't perhaps in the greatest state of actual readiness itself. So there probably is there's lots of reasons the game could change over 2 years, but that could be one of them. So let's fire through them. Let's have a little look.
All right. So the first one we've got here is I think one of the very first shots we saw in the trailer.
First glimpse of GTA 5.
It's when I got excited.
That's trailer, right?
Trailer. This is trailer. This is when I got excited about a dog, the dogs being in the game.
Yeah.
And then in game, it's not bad.
Well, I mean, say it's basically the same. I mean, the surfboard's gone. A few little peripheral details. I'll say, if anything, it looks sharper and better in game.
I think the clouds are much nicer in game. The next one we've got is this Michael's house, which looks almost identical, I'd say.
Yeah, again, maybe the sort of skyscraper is slightly more placeholder, and in fact his vehicle looks like they are different vehicles, so that explains that. Yeah, I mean, again, it's incredibly similar.
Some more interesting ones now. This is from the Del Perro Pier, looking back down into the city. This is from the trailer. Obviously, we're not going to get all the people in the in-game shot.
Yeah.
But here's the in-game shot.
Let's see them again. Yeah, the not quite same angle. It's interesting though that even the spilt coffee cup is there. So, like, down to that level of detail. Whether they've always meant that to be there out of the bin, or they've gone, oh my god, we said there'd be a spilt coffee cup, we have to put one in. You don't really know, but otherwise, geographically, again, pretty tight fit.
Yeah, I think the difference in a lot of these things is the field of view that you can see. Obviously, in the trailer one, I'd say everything looks a lot closer than it does in the in-game stuff. Like, the mountains in the background look closer than they are in the in-game thing, which probably didn't help towards the people going, oh my god, the map's going to be so small, because obviously in the in-game shot we can see that it's miles away back to those mountains. Michael's house here on the tennis courts. This first one is the original official trailer, official screenshot release. Michael's house again just looks closer in the official screenshot, do you think?
Yeah, it does. The scale looks slightly out. Now, obviously, this might be a function of the slightly changed camera angle, but yeah, you think it probably looks slightly closer in the first shot. Also, as does the nearby mountains. Again, you don't know. Did they could use scenery pieces and sort of drag them into shape, or were they actual existing models? You don't know. And I mean, frankly, I'm not too upset about it. The truth is, we've all got the game. We've seen it. We're playing it. It looks fantastic. But it's interesting if it does reveal any elements of true sort of directorial change, where they went, well, this isn't working, we do this a different way.
I mean, another thing we can see is the shape of the hedges is different. Honestly, anyone who's getting sad about the hedges being different is...
Yeah, I know, and you're right, the hedges are perhaps more sculpted at the top. It's also the tree has changed. There's in the bottom shot we see more of a palm tree in the actual game itself. Previously, perhaps it was a different type of foliage. Whether that was too difficult to render or vice versa, we don't know. But yeah, I mean, hey, maybe in virtual life, Michael had a man round to do his trees for him.
That's entirely possible. here we see one of the big talking points. This is Mount Chiliad, as we came to discover quite late on that we'd seen Mount Chiliad really early on in the promotion for GTA
I love
5.
that, because everyone prognosticated, certainly on the GTA forums mapping thread, that where's Mount Chiliad? Could it be this? Could it be that? Like, it had been staring us in the face for like 2 years. So let's see how it changed.
Well, it certainly got less trees on it.
Split back. Yeah, in fact, to me it looks tree. No, I don't know. Maybe the bottom layer is far denser with trees there, and you can see higher up. Again, it's not a pure like for like shot, so it's very difficult to say exactly.
No,
so
I mean
in terms of the ridge structure, the sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 ridges, yeah, it's slightly changed. Maybe they've taken, like, there you've got like three ridges and a gap. Going at the next one, 3 ridges and a gap. So yeah, it's basically, you know, they've got very similar geography going on again.
Here we have the man knocking his for sale sign outside his house, and then in the in-game example we can see, well, his house isn't for sale anymore for a start.
Yeah, this is weird. This is like he suffered an amazing turnaround in fortunes.
Unless someone bought it.
Yeah, and weirdly, like, it's the entire theme of recession that seemed to be like it was going to be a really key tenet to GTA 5 sort of never materialised, perhaps in the way we'd anticipated. I certainly didn't think GTA 5 was exclusively a socioeconomic study of, you know, people going through grim times. So yeah, I mean, it's a brighter, cheerier shot of a house that doesn't look too bad to live in, as opposed to a place going up on the market.
Yeah, it's got some in the in-game shot. It's got a lot more buildings surrounding it. I think in the trailer one you saw probably ones that looked further away, definitely. And I saw people online as well getting quite sad that the rubbish and all of that stuff wasn't like outside the house and things. Now, I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think rubbish is dynamic in the game. So there'll be certain days when rubbish will be outside houses, and then the virtual rubbish truck will come and collect that rubbish.
Can anyone verify that with a... I can't believe I'm requesting this. Can someone send us a virtual rubbish video, or a 24-hour time-lapse, or weekly time-lapse outside a provincial housing block to see if someone comes to get the rubbish? I'm going to say no.
Whether they actually physically come and get it, I'm not sure. But I think there are days when it's outside, and then other days when it's not.
Right.
But yeah, I'd be interested to see that rubbish truck video. Moving on, here we are down at the beach.
Yeah.
And I think the in-game equivalent of this is pretty damn good, apart from the lack of people.
Yeah, again, you could quibble about some of the resolution and background sort of differentiation, but let's be quite frank, it's pretty close.
We should say as well that a lot of these in-game shots would have been taken on the in-game camera phone.
Yeah.
And uploaded to the social club, and the quality you get off the camera phone is nowhere near as good as the screenshots.
And you know, Rockstar have obviously got professional debugging tools. They can set the camera angle any way they want. You know, it all makes it much easier for them. Yeah, that's a very revealing shot. So we get to see the view from the Griffiths Observatory. Yeah,
so we can see the official screenshot here with I think that's Franklin at the edge of the Griffiths Observatory looking out over the city, and then we look at the in-game one, and apart from a bit of smog, which obviously is dynamic and changes depending on the weather and stuff, that's almost identical.
Yeah, that's quite impressive actually. I mean, yeah, you account for the angulation difference, and I think in terms of the geography and placement of Los Santos, they've stuck to a pattern and really nailed it.
This is Michael looking out over the city. It's a really lovely shot. And then if we go to the in-game version, now obviously this is slightly darker, but someone with a bit of Photoshop knowledge just bumped the contrast up a bit, and there it looks pretty good, I'd say. I mean, obviously some of these shots are going to be touched up slightly.
Yes.
But as you can see, just a little bump on the contrast, and you get pretty much the same result.
Yeah, that's it. The lighting's the big difference, but with the contrast up, it's very similar.
All right, Dan. So that was GTA 5 then and now. Just a quick look at that. As I said, there are lots more photos than this on the GTA forums thread, so go over and check that out. Before we wrap up, Dan, anything else?
No, just again, thanks for your support. Thanks for following us on @GTAV0clock. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/GTAV0clock. If you like the videos, please click like, that always helps. And do subscribe, because we've always got lots of great GTA content coming on the channel. And in fact, lots of other great games and stuff as we move towards the next gen on CVG's channel. So, yeah, that's it for me. James, it's been nice to be with you. I've secretly slightly missed him, but I feel like love can build a bridge. So we're going to move onwards and upwards. Thanks for listening to GTA 5 o'clock.